Once, in the time before our ancestors had words for the mysteries of the sea, there existed a world where the ocean sparkled like jewels, and the islands themselves drifted across the waters like clouds. In this enchanted realm, filled with both wonder and peril, lived two companions whose bond was stronger than the fiercest storm. One was a fox named Bucky, clever and curious, with a heart that longed for discovery. The other, a seagull named Barabi, sharp of wit and swift of wing, whose feathers had known the taste of many winds, and whose sharp tongue often clashed with his friend's dreams. Yet their friendship was as unshakable as the tides. Together, they embarked on a quest for the Golden Conch, a legendary treasure said to grant a single wish to the brave soul who could find it in the heart of the mysterious Driftstone Archipelago. Though the conch promised untold power, it was protected by ancient forces that no one had yet survived. But Bucky and Barabi, with hearts full of hope, chose to seek it, for the fox craved adventure, and the seagull could not leave his friend's side. It was on the edge of a high cliff where their journey truly began. Bucky stood, his sharp eyes scanning the horizon, while in his hand he held a tattered map so old its edges crumbled like dry leaves. The map was their only guide, pieced together from whispers of sailors who had ventured too close to the Driftstone Archipelago and lived to tell the tale. Beside him, Barabi squinted at the endless expanse of ocean, skeptical as ever. "Bucky," my friend Barabi said, his voice as sharp as the wind, "I've flown over these waters for many years, and I've never seen any conch, golden or otherwise. Are you certain this isn't another sailor's tall tale?" "There's only one way to find out, isn't there?" Bucky replied, a grin spreading across his muzzle. "If the map and the stories are real, then the conch exists. And if there's even the slightest chance, well, I won't rest until we find it." With that, they descended the cliff, making their way to the shore, where a raft awaited them built of driftwood and bound by ropes they had tied themselves. It was no grand ship, but it was sturdy, and it would carry them across the unknown waters. With the map in hand and the wind at their backs, they set sail toward the heart of the archipelago. The ocean stretched out before them, vast and mysterious. Though the sea shimmered in the light of morning, there was an undercurrent of danger in its depths. These were no ordinary waters, they were the deep, wild seas, where old magic still lingered, and where even the waves whispered secrets only the wind could understand. Days passed. The sky shifted from the bright blues of day to the star-filled velvet of night, and still they sailed on. Bucky, ever the navigator, kept his eyes on the stars, following the path laid out by the ancient map. Barabi, meanwhile, scanned the horizon, ever watchful for signs of danger. But even the bravest hearts cannot escape the truth of the sea. It is as unpredictable as it is beautiful. On the fourth day, as dark clouds gathered thick above them, they encountered their first trial. Through the swirling mist of a sudden storm, they saw a figure, a lone sailor, ragged and worn, adrift on a broken raft. His eyes wide with terror, the sailor paddled toward them, his voice a hoarse whisper carried by the wind. "Turn back," he cried. "Turn back before it's too late. The archipelago is cursed. The sea will take you as it's taken so many before you." But even as his warning filled the air, the sea beneath him began to stir. From the depths rose a shadow, a massive shark, dark and terrible. In one swift motion, the beast devoured the sailor, raft and all, before vanishing back into the abyss. The sea grew quiet once more, but the warning lingered. The archipelago was no ordinary place, and its waters held dangers beyond what they could have imagined. Still, Bucky and Barabi pressed on. For though the sea had claimed its due, the Golden Conch called to them, and they would not turn back now. Soon after, they entered the maze of mist, a place where the sea and sky seemed to merge, and where the air was thick with magic. The mist blurred the world around them, and strange shapes loomed and vanished in the distance, as if the sea itself were alive with ancient spirits. The maze was a place of legend. No sailor who had entered it had ever returned, for the mist played tricks on the mind, and the currents were treacherous and ever-changing. But Bucky, his heart full of determination, guided their raft through the twisting channels, trusting his instincts and the map to lead them. At times, ghostly voices called out, beckoning them to stray from their path, but Barabi, ever cautious, grounded them with his sharp cries, reminding them to stay true to their course. Slowly, cautiously, they pressed on until at last, after what felt like days lost in the fog, the mist began to lift. And then, as if by magic, the mist parted. Before them lay an island bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. The shores were lined with shimmering stones, and at its center stood a great temple, carved from coral and gleaming with the light of ages past. This was the heart of the Driftstone Archipelago. This was the island of the Golden Conch. But even as they approached, they knew their journey was far from over, for no treasure of such power is ever unguarded. From the deep waters surrounding the island rose the guardians of the conch serpentine beasts, their scales shimmering like moonlight. Their eyes, glowing with ancient knowledge, watched the approaching raft with cold, unyielding gazes. These creatures had guarded the Golden Conch for centuries, and none had passed them. Bucky and Barabi faced their greatest challenge yet. The guardians struck with the speed and strength of the ocean, their massive bodies thrashing as they tried to drag the raft beneath the waves. But the companions were quick and resourceful. Barabi flew high above, dodging the serpent's deadly strikes and drawing their attention away from Bucky, who steered the raft with skill, always focused on the temple that lay just beyond the shore. The battle raged and the sea roared with fury. But the bond between Bucky and Barabi was stronger than any storm, and together they prevailed. At last, the guardians relented, sinking back into the depths, allowing them to reach the island. Inside the temple, all was silent. The air was thick with magic, and the walls seemed to hum with power. At the heart of the room, resting upon a pedestal of coral and gold, lay the object of their quest, the Golden Conch. It glowed with a light not of this world, casting a gentle radiance across the temple floor. This was the treasure they had sought, the object of countless legends, and now it was within their reach. Bucky stepped forward, his heart pounding in his chest. This was the moment he had dreamed of, the moment when all his adventures, all his dreams, would come to fruition. He could make a wish, any wish, and the conch would grant it. But as his hand hovered over the glowing shell, Bucky paused. He had come seeking adventure, wealth, or power, perhaps a glimpse of something beyond his wildest dreams. Yet, standing there with the conch before him, he realized something far greater. The true treasure was not the conch, not the wish it could grant, but the journey he had taken to reach it. The adventures he had shared with Barabi, the dangers they had faced, the bond they had forged, these were the greatest treasures of all. "I wish," Bucky whispered, "for more adventures than we could ever dream." And with those words, the conch glowed brighter than ever before. Its light filled the temple, spilling out across the island and the sea. The world itself seemed to tremble with magic, and the ocean roared as if in celebration. Bucky's wish was granted. The world shifted and changed, and new lands rose from the depths of the ocean. Islands that had never been seen before dotted the horizon, each filled with new mysteries, new dangers, and new adventures waiting to be discovered. And so Bucky and Barabi sailed on, their hearts full of joy and wonder. For though they had found the Golden Conch, their journey was far from over. The world was wide, and the horizon stretched out before them, filled with endless adventures yet to be had. For in the end, the greatest treasure they had discovered was not the conch, nor the power it promised, but the friendship that had carried them through every trial and would carry them through many more. And so, their tale lives on, carried by the winds and whispered by the waves, wherever adventurers dare to dream. Thanks for watching. Kindly like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more tales of the Bahamas.